Hey, good morning to you. I'm Julia Brooks along with Julia Moffitt and Chuck Lofton. We're back for an extra shot of sunrise. And we got like an extra shot of heat this morning too, because we know it's going to be hot and humid today, but it even kind of started off that way. It was like in the 70s.
So I want to ask you all your advice. Tomorrow, tomorrow it's going to be really hot. State Fair reopens tomorrow, because remember, it's closed Monday and Tuesday now. So reopens tomorrow, and we're doing a weather academy.
Oh boy.
It will get up to 95 during the afternoon. When we start doing this at noon, it'll probably be 88, 89. How long should the weather academy class go?
Oh, is it indoors or out?
No. Oh, no, ma'am.
I think you need to pass out a quick pamphlet and
I would,
leave.
yes, and I would actually do a tour of the milkshake stand, the dairy barn, and then the lemonade shake-up stand.
How we can equate that to weather, I have no idea.
You,
but
like, make a tornado with the lemon shake-up, like do a simulation with the. There we go.
Well, I'll drink it all before.
There we go. Well, yeah.
But
No,
well, it is going to be hot tomorrow. It's going to be hot today as well. Here's what we're looking at. We're at 69 degrees, but I can tell you it feels warmer than that. I just ran outside for a minute. 70 in Shelbyville. And we're going to warm up rather quickly. So many kids going back to school today. We got Speedway and New Pal and Greenfield Central, just to name a few. 81 at lunchtime and then 91 today. The Tribe are back in town. It has been a long time since they've been in town. They are back. Dollar menu night against the evil Louisville Bats, and temperatures will be in the 80s for that game this evening. I know a lot of people are wondering about rain. Here's when we might get some. This is later this afternoon, 3:30. Let's take you now to about 4, 5 o'clock. Just west of Indy, but that could move into Indianapolis too. And certainly this line of rain at about 8:30 will. Now, the best chance for us all getting wet is actually Thursday. 91 today, 95 tomorrow, and then the mid-80s Thursday and Friday. But we're back to the heat and humidity Saturday and Sunday. And I know, it's kind of tired of this, but this is the kind of stuff we prayed for in January, so let's be thankful for it.
This is exactly why I know when we get really hot, and people are like, I can't wait for the fall and crisp and, nice pumpkin spice and all that stuff. I'm like, but that all sounds good, but what comes afterwards. And so I'm like, it's going to come eventually, so let's not wish away warm weather.
Right.
There you go.
I like to keep it. Of course, I knew it was going to rain yesterday because I listened to your forecast.
No, you didn't.
And she got caught with no umbrella still.
No, I had a shoot yesterday near 91st Street, kind of on the east side. I was leaving that, and I really don't know that I've ever seen this. I was driving in complete dryness. Yeah. And I could see
a wall
of water. It was incredible. In fact, I happened to be on the phone with someone, and as soon as I hit into that rain, they were like, "What just happened?" I was like, the strangest thing. Like, if you could have taken a picture of that.
And where you were, there was some tree damage yesterday. The winds were clocked at close to 60 miles per hour. So that's over, thank goodness.
It's crazy, crazy.
Oh, really quick, I know we're going to get to our next story, but we've not checked, I think, on our Facebook for a little while, and so so there are not a lot of comments to read now. Actually, it's just one. Norm Barker, who's hanging out, told us good morning from Marion. So if you are watching on Facebook, I know there's a couple of different ways to stream it now, but if you are joining us for Extra Shot on Facebook, leave a comment and tell us where you're watching from this morning.
There we go.
Well, we are going to go from up to under. How about under the sea? In fact, a new way for deep sea divers to treasure hunt without getting wet. Stanford Robotics Oceanic Submersible Bot is about to venture 3 times as deep as a human scuba diver. So that's really the payoff here, right? So scuba divers cannot go down this far just because of the amount of pressure that far down. So they'll be able to get artifacts. So this remote pilot can feel whatever the robot touches with feedback systems, and even those cameras are his eyes, allowing for this immersive 3D experience. I know Julia's like, I don't like it. I am like, is this history junkie, so I love when they find things and pull them out of the ocean.
This is extremely controversial because there are many who say, well, this, the technology obviously is wonderful, but if it gets in the hands of people who will go and basically scavenge sites like Titanic and some of the other
That makes
basically
sense.
stealing this,
Right.
Yeah.
this stuff. So there's that.
Because
Yeah.
everything underwater, somebody has a right to it based
Well,
on
it depends.
location? or-
You know, if it's a ship that sunk and there were gold on it, it's the owner of that company that owns the ship and the gold. And if
Yeah.
somebody went down there with a submersible and stole it,
Oh yeah, see, I was just
I
thinking
look at
about
the
the
bad
fact that
side
I'm just like, I think there are a lot of things like deep sea creatures that.
Oh, yes, that we
discover,
don't
and I'm
wanna know
I don't
about,
want to-
right?
But I mean, I love the water and like being in the water next to it, all of it. And so I've done like dabbled in like scuba diving and stuff. And I think that is so cool.
Oh, I
But
didn't pass
I
the
don't
swimming
want to-
test.
That's okay. We need to do something called snuba diving.
Oh, what's
Snuba.
that?
So it's like snorkeling and scuba diving. So it's like a
Oh.
combination of the two, but instead of having like your own tank on the back, the tank hangs on the top of the water, like it like floats on the top,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you're connected
And then-
to a cord. So you can't go quite as far, but
Right.
it's like it still allows you to, like, unless you're not trying to do that kind of
No,
deep sea
I'm not
diving
trying to
anyway.
find the
But you
Titanic,
could
no.
you could see still like cool wildlife and stuff, and still be kind of scuba diving. But it makes me feel a little bit safer too, because I'm
Yeah.
still attached to something. I
Right.
can be snatched back up out of the water
Yeah.
if I need someone to come and get me. But I love like being under the water, but I'm not going past
Yeah.
a certain point. I don't think that we should, because
the
I just feel like
bends.
I've seen so many like river monsters, all those shows, and I'm like, that's not even that deep. But like there's so many creatures out there that I'm like, we don't need to be trying to encounter those. We don't
Yeah,
need to see that.
True story. On my honeymoon, my husband, I thought that would be a wonderful thing to do, of
Yeah.
course, 28 years ago. And so we were taking the test at the same
Uh-huh.
time. We had to go around the outer skirts of the pool so many times.
Like,
You couldn't do
I
it?
give up.
I gave up. I think I might have been almost halfway there, and then Barry like gets finished, and he's like,
Where's she?
"Where is she?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm over here."
That
with-"
sounds about. That's
And
why we relate on
he
that,
was
because
so
I had a
bummed.
job as a lifeguard, and they were like, "Yeah, like finish the swim test," and I was like, "No, do you still have those cashier openings?" And I was like, "I will just."
Oh, look at the snack bar.
Yeah, literally, I did, and I was like, "I will sell snacks."
when
and,
we get
and
off the
diapers,
air,
yeah.
and this is not for Extra Shot, I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you my lifeguard story. I was a lifeguard on Lake Michigan.
Oh, my
boy.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew, okay. All right. We're going to switch gears a little bit. Tell you about a new documentary that debuts on HBO and HBO Max on August 13th.
August.
So sooner than that. It's actually about Princess Diana. It's called The Princess, and it follows her life through her courtship until her death, unfortunately 25 years ago this month. So it examines her life in the nonstop media spotlight, constant scrutiny from the public, which I feel like there've been a couple, I don't know
lot
if you
of
call
them.
them. Yeah, I was gonna say there's been quite a few. So I wonder like what makes this one different, like what kind of exclusive footage they have that they're showing. But I don't think as many, like they can make as many as they want, and there's still going to be
Right.
such a following and such an interest in these types of documentaries of her.
Well, and isn't there some controversy that's going around right now about one of the main interview that she gave after the divorce?
Martin
with
Bashir,
Bashir's
absolutely, that-
interview,
yes,
that
he
maybe
was-
she was misled.
He was accused of basically fraud.
Yeah,
in
that she
obtaining that
wouldn't
interview.
have
Right.
given that information that became kind of controversial
Yes.
had he not given her certain information, misleading information. So I wonder if that also
Martin
is
is the same guy that did the blockbuster interview with Michael Jackson, and basically that whole thing erupted too.
Okay,
Do
I
we
was
have to
not
do
laughing
this
at
next
that.
story?
Yeah, well, I have to wait. Is
This
this
is the cat food one.
Okay, no, I was hoping that it was the bear story that we got this morning. This is I like this story too.
Okay,
but it's
I'll
because
do it.
someone wants to hear your.
All right,
your
this is
bear
so gross. So
impersonation.
16 lucky people, I don't
Yes.
see it that way, will have a chance to experience feline-inspired cuisine. So Fancy Feast, which is a cat food manufacturer, right, is opening this Gatto Bianco, an Italian-style restaurant, to celebrate its new cat food line, inspired by Fancy Feast's new Medley's cat food line. The human-friendly dishes will feature options like beef ragu with tomatoes and pasta. The pop-up restaurant will be open for dinner reservations August 11th and 12th. Guess where?
In New York City, of course.
Okay. All right. This is a pop-up restaurant
Yeah.
owned by Fancy Feast.
Yeah.
They're going to serve 16 people a day for 2 days. So they're serving 32 people.
Yeah.
But Fancy Feast has received worldwide
Right, because we just did this.
publicity
It's
for
basically
this.
kind of very similar to like the Airbnb that's like you can be like
Oh,
what
yeah.
was recent, like Dolly Parton, you can be in,
Right.
but they're like, oh, but it's only one stay, and the stay is only for 8 hours.
And you know the
yeah,
and you know the chefs in the back going,
yeah, they're scooping. Yeah, this is ravioli.
I'm opening eating the
not
can of
fancy
cat
piece of
food.
Chef Boyardee or something like that. They're like, yeah, we said it was human. Yeah, it's human grade meat.
Gross.
Yeah, that's how that
Gross.
works.
Beefaroni.
But we got a request for your boo boo.
Hey, boo-boo,
let's go get a picnic basket.
I do not know why,
Yogi
but I
Bear.
will do that to my husband, and I just random, have no idea.
How long you been doing this?
I think for a long time, apparently. Hey,
When we
boo-boo,
were
let's
watching,
go
when
get a
we were
picnic basket.
watching the story, she was like, "This is what I'm known for," and I'm like, "What do you know? What do you mean? What are you're known for?" I'm like, "Having bears at your house?"
Mommy, it's just within my little
Yeah,
private
no, I get-
four-people family.
This has been a very wild extra shot of
Yeah.
sunrises because we're all exhausted.
That's what it
We are.
is.
So
Yeah.
that's what's doing it this morning.
So I don't know if we should apologize or thank people for watching. Like,
Thank
sorry.
both.
Yeah, go both of you guys. Hope you have a good one.
We'll see you back tomorrow on
Hopefully-
Sunrise, starting bright and early at 4 a.m.
Bye, guys. Have a happy Tuesday.